So what makes you tick?
Art, man. Cut me dry and I bleed art. Cut me open and I gush art. And paint. I'm tearing up just thinking about it. Come in. Come in. Come on. Come in. Excuse the mess. You know, you don't need to film that. Why did you film that? People say mess is bad, but what they don't tell you, mess is art. Anyway, that's the first thing. Remember that, rule number one. I'm doing a new project today, but what I've got is a couple of old school shindig throwbacks. Classics, if you must. Would you describe them? Yeah, you'd say they're classics. Yeah, most people would, yeah. Just maybe guess who that is. What do you think? No guess? Yeah, it's Bruce Lee. You can tell from his famous face and punching stance. Okay, now this is a slightly more obscure shindig classic, but nonetheless, it pays off. I've captured a scene from Evil Dead 2. Ash is certainly going through something. He's looking at himself. There's the original. My printer's a bit green. It doesn't come out well, but I assure you, this is a perfect replica. It's the printing that's the issue. Check these ones out or whatever. There's my dad. Now this is a bit of an old school classic throwback shindig, because if you notice, this was look at this, very poor handwriting. You may think it was when I was a little boy. In fact, it was when I was addicted to crack. I was living in a little crack den, and I drew everything I could see. That's a candlestick. That demonstrates the extent of madness that I was under, that I thought that would be a wise way of signing my name. That's my mum looking. That was when she came to see me. I told her I was doing great, living fine in Swell, and then she came and saw all these used needles on the ground. Anyway, I don't want to relive that memory. Art is a coping mechanism for me during traumatic life events. That's my mum holding the crack pipe and with a party hat on. She knew how to have a good time sometimes before she died. Now, that's unfinished, but it's a camping chair. That's what I sat on. Oh, wow. That's a bit spooky. Don't remember that one. That's a young George Lucas. I was very obsessed with Star Wars at this time, and I sort of took inspiration from the man, from his beaming lips. That's a little favourite of mine. Oh, hello. Creepy. Got to draw a face on that one. Okay, let's just move on. Let's show you what we're working with today. Look, before I show you, let me tell you something. What's your name?
Chris.
Chris. How could I forget? Okay, Chris, let me tell you, the art world is very competitive, especially graffiti in the streets, because what will happen is that the men will come and paint over what you've just painted, like sometimes minutes after I notice, and it might just be me, but I paint something and then these guys just run up and just throw a bucket of black over it. But anyway, the council also paint over in green. So basically, that's the premise of this latest piece. Would you paint over a baby? So, ask yourself that. How could you? How could you hurt that little guy? Look at him. No one will paint over that. And it may not necessarily have my name on it or any sort of purpose, but at least it might last longer, if you know what I'm saying. Here's the stencil. I'm going to take that with me, hopefully do it in a couple of places. You know, you don't really need that. Okay, catch you there. External intruders try and come all up in my business, like say bye to the mum. Oh, this isn't art. Oh, this is just squiggles on it. But that's what art is to me, is mess. That's why my room's like this. Art is experimentation. You get me?
Yeah.
This is a highly contested venue. A lot of dog walkers. A lot of rivals. See, the whole point of the don't paint, would you paint over a baby? It would be highly hypocritical if I painted over someone's work. So what I'm going to hopefully do, that's not very artistic. So I do it there. You ready, Chris? Paint has given me the needs, the means to express myself. Without paint, I would be like a Einstein without his fingertips.
First we do a rough base.
So I would have all that extreme knowledge, but I wouldn't have any writing capabilities.
Cover the heckles.
I've gone for a circle pattern. Oh, some of my finest materials. But now with paint, I can be Einstein and just like write down the formulas. In a way, art isn't about the materials. It's about what's being captured. So it doesn't matter how old and rancid your blue tack is, or in what kind of rancid cave you're doing your work in. It's all rancid, but it's all got talent, doesn't it?
Baby time.
Alright, that's the first one. Round 2.
What do rectangles mean to you?
Everything. Oh, that looks prominent. Did you paint over a baby?
What was the driving force for getting into art?
Well, I didn't really have a choice. The art had approached me and took me into a shed and had his way with me. And since then, I've just been in touch with the art. I've had the art flowing through me. Come on. I had this artwork instilled upon me by that man in that shed. But I don't really want to get into that too much. Not all art is good art, I'll tell you that much. Especially when it's being... Anyway. What the government defines as law often intrudes on my prerogative. That's why I gotta wear this hood. So they don't know who I am. They can't get me on CCTV and stuff.
They can see your face though, right?
No? Okay, here you can clearly see the government trying to paint over and suppress the art. So we're gonna paint over them and see how they like that. I think to really distinguish between good art, you become a bit of an elitist once you start defining what is art and what isn't art. Because I've had to struggle against that all my life. I've never got anything in a gallery, for one, because they just don't get my old school shindig, classic mode mentality, if you know what I'm saying. And, sorry, what was the question? Come on, little fella. Okay. So I fucked up. I did too much paint and it's dripped and leaked, so I'm going to make a baby. Yeah. I reckon this is going to set the graffiti community on fire. Obviously I'm a part of that, but you know what I mean. This is the final one. So what I'm going to do is a corner, a whole purple corner, and then the yellow on top. Let's measure the thing out. Yeah, each piece of art is personal to me. So even if it doesn't get recognition, it's my own expression. Much like Vincent van Gogh. As Mr. Gogh said, famously, he said, "I do not care about whether my art is recognized." He's French. This is revolutionary because it's combining stencil and freehand. Dunno, man. Don't know about this. Wait. Hang on. This is on scaffolding. Oh well. Oh well. You know what the council are like. You'll probably be here for bloody years anyway. Welcome back. Today we're testing the livelihood of our babies, checking on them, seeing if they're still around. They haven't been vandalized. It's been 2 months. Join me. We're on the forefront of modern art here, ladies and gentlemen. I've waited 2 months and I haven't come back. And what I'm expecting is, if anything, the works to have multiplied and spread beyond my wildest dreams. Because the best artists inspire other artists, so I want just babies everywhere. Babies. Big babies. And then I can truly know that I've conquered.
Do you think maybe they might have been painted over?
No. We're back at the scaffolding. It's still up. What did I say? Very helpful. Anyway, this is where my most significant piece is, where I've siphoned off a whole corner of wood. So, I'm very hopeful. Anyway, let's check it out. Okay, fingers crossed. Here we go. Oh, wow. It's actually still standing. I knew it was going to still be, I knew that it would be standing because I'm a master of the craft. It's only suffered minor damage through mud. In a way, that's the one factor I didn't account for, the environment. Mud. No one's actually painted on the baby, maybe because it's so shittily mud infested that they wouldn't. Maybe that's a good tactic to paint in horrible, godforsaken lands. It's a good sign, it's a good start. I hope the next ones are better and clearer, but I guess we'll see. Okay, I'm angry. What's happened here is a maniac has come and painted over this, regardless of what kind of baby they see underneath. I don't even know what that says. Eric? Errol? I don't really care. It's okay, little one. I just hope he can reconvene with his friends, that guy. Yeah, one survived so far. Put that on your record. This one though is more abstract, and I didn't include the would you paint over a baby, so I just don't know what to expect. I simply don't. Okay. We've lost some, but some has remained. But why have they done that? What does that say? Matt, is it? Anyway, I'm not going to count that as a win because we've lost the writing and he's been vandalized somewhat. He's been hurt, the baby. They have technically painted over the baby, which is the whole objective. So write that off as a failure. He could be like a baby wizard with orbs. And he's like... Well, there appears to be some sort of mural where the baby boy is. I hope someone hasn't died. Memory tree. Feels free to write a message, a name or a memory and place it on the tree. Okay. Baby loss awareness. Oh, baby loss awareness. I'm not even mad about the brutal vandalism that's taken place. Because, in a way, I've clearly inspired something bigger. Guess what? I've seen something, and it's tickled my anger bone. Right? What kind of baby hater would, what is this? Nazi Russia? Look. Only yours. Only my baby. Mine. Of all the this is the only baby here. So if I just did the baby, would they not have painted over it? Is that what they're trying to say? Or they just don't like my methods, do they? God. I mean, I'm not gonna let it get me down, even though it specifically gets me down. I bet they feel very disrespectful now, next to that shrine to the babies. I'm going through very mixed emotions right now, because I've put my artwork into a wider context, paint of real babies. Was I exploiting the image of babies? When babies die? Maybe I'm the bad guy. But at the same time, I bloody worked long and hard. As you see in the video, it took absolutely days. It took yonks And these guys are gonna... Oh, only yours? Yeah, I'll paint over your baby. I'll paint over your mum as well. How's that? Not you, Chris. What I'm noticing here, Chris, is a strange metallic set of panels. And what I'm hoping is it's not some sort of next level of government interference in my artwork. Like, do you think they've got a guy crouched under there, ready to leap out at any moment? It looks innocent enough. Oh, fuck. It's just black. It's just gone. Do you think they saw the baby? Do you think they could see it? Because I'm pretty sure it's right here. In fact, there's evidence. There's purple paint there. They've painted over the artwork. And we don't even know, maybe someone else had painted more babies to support my work. They probably did.
You taking a moment of silence there, George.
Imagine painting over a baby in black.
What has to be going through someone's mind when they do that?
I wish I'd set up a camera so I could watch them and see if it was some sort of alien. Because I genuinely, my plan was foolproof and I can't imagine a man or a woman painting over a baby. Do you know what I mean, Chris? Are you a dad yourself?
Of course, 3 years.
3 years.
Of being a dad.
Oh, yeah. How many babies you got? It stood standing.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because people didn't want to paint over the baby.
Is that a success then?
Yeah, I'm just going to stay positive. You know, attribute it to the success of maybe this one had the most striking baby image. It came out of the clearest. It's not because of the location. That's the last thing that would prevent that, you know? It's not because it's up a big muddy hill and people don't want to paint here. Bit weird. I'll help you pull up. Oh, I can see a little bit of it. You know what though? This speaks to the integrity of my art. I'm going to take it as a win, another win. I think, wait, we've been doing a record, but rejig the record. They've all been wins. Because you've been able to see them all. And that's all I meant.
What about the one that was covered in black paint?
Okay, write that one off. But I'm just talking about the eyeball is still beaming. It's sort of symbolic, isn't it? And you can see so you probably still get the message, don't you? The eye and the it's still a warning. Oh,
There's another.
this is a homeless person's house. This is yet another example of real life and art coming face to face. This one wasn't a very good one when we made it, but it still survived. So that's another win. But I think what I could have done better is not done this one in the first place. What you see before you is where it all began. Would you, please? You'll never guess what's happened. I think we got the wrong tunnel. Wait, what has happened? Why is it dripping so much? Is that their tactics? Do they just spray paint and let it drip over the whole... Is this not even the council doing this? Is this like the devil? What causes drippings in this way, Chris? And why is it over my baby? That's my question. I'm not in control of the drippings and the black swathes, am I? I just do my business and then it gets trampled over.
What have you learned from this experience?
I've learned that babies die before they're born, and sometimes after they're born, and memorials are made. I've learned homeless people sleep under cave systems, like up there. And what I've also learned is life's a bitch.
And then you die?
That's why I paint babies. But I'm not going to give up. That's the last thing I'm going to do. What would Vincent van Gogh say if I gave up? He'd You'd say fool you.
The end.
That's the end. The end.